Peace and blessings, everybody. Welcome to an episode of Political Street. I'm your community ambassador, Mr. Robin J. Anderson, all right? So before we get started, I'm going to give my disclaimer. We're going to jump in this thing because I got a good brother here, man. We've been hitting and missing for a while, but now, you know what I'm saying, everything aligned and we right on point now. So Political Street is not a political endorsement podcast. We're here for information purposes only. On Political Street, I interview business owners, community leaders, and elected officials, all right? So with that being said, man, brother, how did we meet? Well, I know how we met.
Yeah, it's a long time coming, brother.
Yeah, man. I want to say it was at Andrews.
1102.
Yeah, it was 1102 Andrews, man.
14 years ago.
Golly, time flying, man.
Flew by.
Brother Chancellor, man. He it's interesting how I don't know. It's like I knew Brother Chancellor, but it's like we just kind of saw each other in passing. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so the lodge that he was affiliated with, you know, was known to really have their brothers in on information and knowledge, and that's what I respect about y'all and whatnot, man. And so,
sure.
But before we dive into that, how we met and this and that, man, tell everybody where you from.
Oh man, I'm first Chancellor Roberson, man. I'm originally from the Clinton Park area, Port of Houston. Family originated from Fifth Ward, so that's my nucleus, and I kind of lived all over the city. So I really say, you know, I'm from everywhere, but you know, by way of the East Side, by way of the Fifth Ward area. So,
did you grow up with mom and dad?
Yes, but not in the same home. So, grew up with my mom's father. You know, they divorced around '94. So of course, strained relationship with the father, but he was there, but more just for disciplinary.
Check.
You know.
Yeah. And I asked it for a reason because what I like to do is I like for people to get a background to see, okay, hey, I grew up this way, but it doesn't mean that I succumb to what people say when you don't grow up in a household with a mother and dad, a mother and father, how we don't be productive. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, it's a stereotype, but I feel like I've done my best to try to beat those odds and try to be as most productive as I can. For sure.
Gotcha. So, what high school did you attend?
I went to Galena Park High School.
Okay. Is it still around? I don't hear about
it's still here.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, mostly Hispanic now. Also went to school in Dallas for a while at Dallas Skyline.
Okay, Dallas Skyline. Yeah. Gotcha. So after high school, what was Chancellor at?
I had the football dream, so I went and played ball at University of Louisiana Lafayette 4 years.
Okay. All 4 years?
All 4 years.
God damn,
came home. I had red shirt. You know, so I graduated on time. Came home in 2009.
Now you pledged, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I'm Alpha Phi Fraternity Incorporated, which one of the great decisions I made while I was in school. Actually, I always say Alpha saved my life. But when I got to school, the members of Alpha Phi Alpha was in every department. It was the RAs, they was the district, you know, everything. They was over the dean's office. They was so if you wanted to do anything in school, you had to talk to the alphas. So,
and that's a strong network to have too.
Most definitely, man. Most definitely. I try my best not to be a stereotype in that either, but at the same time, it taught me a lot of networking, taught me how to fundraise, and taught me the value of doing great community work.
Check.
For sure.
Yeah, it makes sense, man. It makes a lot of sense. Now, even going to a school, it teaches you how to navigate. You know what I'm saying? Then we say you're in the part of organization, so
for sure,
that's what's up, man. So after college and you got into this world, man, what did you get into?
I came home. I always had a fascination with the mind. Went to school for behavior science. So I came home and ended up getting a job working at MHMRA, which is now the Harris Center for Mental Health and IDD. Had a 5-year career there to start with, to learn how to work in emergency psych, dealing with all type of diagnoses, youth, adults, geriatrics, just a well-rounded experience of dealing with mental health on many different forms.
Gotcha. Now you say you like how the mind work, man. What drew you to that? Because my minor in college was psychology, but I changed to political science. But that's another story.
So just a little bit more about me, man. I grew up. Once my parents divorced, me and my mother and my brother, we moved in with her parents, and both of my grandparents one had Alzheimer's and one had dementia. So to see how their mind left them was what intrigued me to study the mind, right?
Check. Wow.
And I know my grandfather, his situation was a little bit more direst. He used to have strokes probably before I was born, and he took some experimental medication that they told him it would stop you from having strokes, but it would eventually take your mind. So by the time I came around, I probably was about 6 or 7, and he used to take us on, take us out places and make us drive back so we could remember how to get to places, because he knew he would eventually forget.
Wow.
So
that's powerful, man.
Just training us young, it made me realize that you're not too young to learn those lessons from older men.
Good point. Sure. Wow, that's powerful, man. Wow. So I know that the fraternity A5A, they're very big on like charity work, getting back into the community.
For sure.
Is that where you got like your first the feel for it, or you already had that inclined to you growing up?
Well, actually, I saw it a lot coming up, but I didn't know that it was called charity work. We used to have gentlemen that used to come through the neighborhood, and they knew some of the families were a little bit less fortunate. Some guys used to stop by with truckloads of food to feed people and do things of that nature. So I saw that coming up. I didn't know who they was. I thought it was Santa Claus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I grew up seeing that, and as I learned more about community work, then I understood what it stood for, who they were for the community, why they were so respected.
Right.
For sure.
You and I had a conversation off camera, but to me, don't get me wrong, I know that even the Bible said that the poor is going to be amongst us, right?
For sure.
But to me, if we're doing the same thing for 20 years, we're enabling.
That's
right.
True.
So to me, if we don't have a means to help people to feed themselves or to clothe themselves, it's in vain to me, man. You know what I'm saying? Because but either way, that's my 2 cents, man. That's the mindset I've been on lately. Is to teach a person how to fish, and then to me that's more of a benefit to our community than what just giving out all the time. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Because you got certain parts of the community, like certain apartments that they expect it.
Of course.
Around Christmas time, hey, where my bike at? Where my turkey at? And it's not like, what you mean? You know what I'm saying? So
That's true, man. Unfortunately.
Right. But moving forward, though, man, what I like what you're doing, like, and I apologize to you. I apologize to him on camera too, y'all. Brother Chancellor had he created this men's breakfast, and tell me what the men's breakfast was about.
The men's breakfast was about reinstilling the male purpose in the community, and to let men from diverse backgrounds, maybe you had felony, maybe you lost your job, maybe you whatever, just to get them a place to come and comfort and express some of those stresses, and also a place to where you can come and get resources from other brothers like you in your community who might not be doing bad, who might have something to offer you that you just don't know about. So I wanted to give them a safe place to come and get some mental resources, as well as the camaraderie of a brotherhood of people coming together trying to create change. For sure.
And it's needed too, Brother Chancellor, because strange thing about it, well, not strange thing, to me, energy is it moves, right? Thought is universal. God gives these thoughts to everybody. So I had a young lady on here, and she was talking about how they have a men's group, like a men's call every Monday, and just for a platform for men to just kind of sit and just be able to do this.
For sure.
Because it's not, I can't say it's not getting done, but it's not being done a lot. I put it like that, you know what I mean? So sometimes we need that outlet to say, hey, bro, man, this going on, man, I understand, man, but this is how you can deal with it. This is how I dealt with it. I think we start having one of those conversations. A lot of the youth, it's a Band-Aid. I will say it's a Band-Aid from this ugly scar that's been in our community and whatnot. But I think we started doing that, started inviting more youth in and young men. I think a lot of problems have changed. You know what I'm saying?
For sure, man. Unfortunately, our communities have a lot of stereotypes, and a part of those stereotypes is men don't talk about problems. We just deal with them, and we keep pushing, keep kicking, keep doing whatever you got to do. But at some point, you're gonna burn out.
That's right.
And when you burn out, if you ain't never practiced talking to nobody, and you ain't never practiced going finding no resources, you just gonna crash.
Right.
So, what I'm thinking that I'm trying to do is, I was raised like that too, man. Men don't have no problems. They just push themselves through things, and I just have to admit to myself, man, that was dead ass wrong.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I get it. They want us to be tough. They want us to be strong. But at some point in time, in order to be tough, you got to deal with your emotions. You got to deal with the things that caused you trauma as a child. You got to deal with those breakups. You got to deal with that lost friendship. We all dealing with grief. We all done lost somebody to death.
Wow, yeah.
You know, whether it was a family member that was an elder or a friend your age that got killed. We all are grieving.
Yeah, check.
Whether you see it on TV or in person.
Right. You're right.
Believe it or not, most black men or all men, just to be clear, we all are going through traumatic experiences that force us to create a certain type of element in our community that's destructive to build it.
Wow, that's powerful, man. You know, so, and I'm kind of 70-30 on it, but I'm gonna say it anyway, man. How do you feel really about therapy?
I think it's good to have therapy if you have the ability to. But if you can't, I think that the initial family structure that most of us probably remember our grandparents having, where we had Sunday dinner, and when you had to talk at the dinner table, you had to come in and tell about how your day went, things of that nature. We've gotten away from that, and as far as I'm concerned, I'm just trying to do my part to bring us back to some of those olden morals and things that we stood on before life was moving so fast.
Right.
You know.
Right. I agree with that too, because it's like I had Brother Seth on here, man. Shout out to Brother Seth, man, in the embassy, man. Good brother, man. He said something about how he was talking to somebody and how he asked, hey, when's the last time you sat down and had dinner with your family at the table? He said the guy was like, what you mean?
Never.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, but, and I thought about what Seth said, and so I was in Ethiopia one year with Seha. Shout out to Seha. Baba Shango.
Man.
We sat down. Yeah. Bob Shango, man. Anyway, I tell you story about Baba Shango, man. Anyway, he has a thing called the circle of reflection. So after we had Dollar touring and seeing, we sat down at 6 p.m. and everybody sat down, and he did a set. Everybody got a chance to say how they felt. You know what I'm saying? And so, but it's kind of that same thing, you know, just sitting down at the table and just sitting talking and whatnot. You know what I mean? So I agree with you. I think that's what we need to give the balance back into our families and back into our communities, because it's going to start in the home first.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And that's going to spread abroad, you know. So, but tell everybody what you got going on. I saw, I think it was 2 weeks ago, you were doing something at a, like it was like a forum type of thing where some businesses all kind of came in or some tables were set up or whatnot.
Which one? I mean, I be doing so much stuff. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie. I think
it was at a church, man. 'Cause this is like probably like the same week. It was the week before I had Seth on, and you hit me up. But I know you out there. You boots on the ground, man. You know, and I think that's, to me, we had this conversation off camera too, man, about how a lot of people talk about it, but a lot of people don't want to get out there and get boots on the ground. They get their shoes dirty and talking to people, you know what I mean? Getting their head in these grassroots, you know? And
it's necessary, brother, for the work that we doing. You got to be personable, man. And I'm saying that in the extent of, you got to be somebody that people want to be around.
Check.
And sometimes we got to check those attitudes that we have of shunning people and, I'm only going to deal with these people because my shirt's buttoned up all the way to the top and I got a bow tie on, so I want to be around people that look like me. We just got to be regular people. Who are you when you take that stuff off, man?
Check. That's right.
Who are you when you take that badge off? Who are you when you take those professional clothes off? Who are you when you just waking up in the morning? Are you somebody that people can come to if they need something? I mean, we had communities back in the day. It's so crazy. I mean, we had communities back in the day, man. I remember we faced a couple of times where the lights was off or the water was off. And it was like we wasn't even in the struggle. Mama just called the next door neighbor or the person who lived behind the house and said, "Hey, we coming over there for the night till we get things situated."
Yeah, check.
And it was just like that.
Or run a long extension cord or something.
Yeah,
you know
we gonna splice the cable. We gonna do something. We gonna make it work. We was resourceful as a people.
Yeah, I agree.
So we got to get back to caring about people. We got to get back to caring about each other, man. I think once we start caring about ourselves again, it'll make it easier for us to embrace others.
I agree 1,000%, man. So, and I brought you on because I feel like, my things I'm being changed I want to see.
For sure.
And to me, the thing what's going to get us past this stuff is we have to unite. Period, point blank. I don't have to be the HNIC. I don't. I know how to follow. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
I would rather follow because it's not as much work. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes, it's that's what my thing is uniting. You know what I mean? What are your thoughts on uniting, man? What's been your experience of late of uniting with people?
I believe in the unity, of course, just like you mentioned. Unity could be a tedious thing, and I'm only saying that because we come from so many different backgrounds. We got to add social media in there because it's forming literally the minds of youth and adults.
Check.
Believe it or not.
Yeah, it is.
You got adults that spend more time on the social media than the kids do. So with the unity, I think we just got to be able to. I think we talked about it earlier. We got to be able to tolerate one another. and I talk about tolerance, and it sounds like a bad thing,
right?
But it's really the most ultimate form of love that you can show to somebody. That means I respect who you are. I respect your opinion, even if it's different from mine. And at the end of the day, I ain't gonna let nobody hurt you.
Check. Right.
That's it.
Yeah, straight up.
I'm gonna protect you like I protect myself, even if I don't agree with what you're doing, because we look alike and we got the same end and goal.
Right.
That's it.
That's a good point, man, because like I don't want to sound like I'm being. No, I ain't gonna go down that road. That's gonna to try to do some cancel culture, man. But it's almost like it's like it's ego when somebody have to, okay, well, Brother Chancellor came with the idea. It's a great idea, but I'm gonna just stay to him close enough to know what he's doing, and I'm gonna go out and just do it myself. We gonna skip. Like, how do we stop that, bro? Like, how there's only so much tolerance with that, man. You know what I mean?
Well, once upon a knock, I learned that we had to learn to subdue our passions.
Check.
For those who understand that lingo, that's tearing down of those things that's a part of you that's destructive to you.
Yeah. Wow.
That's tearing down those things that'll keep you from being unified with your brothers. That's tearing down that ego. That's tearing down the I for an us. You know what I mean? And some of us who understand that, we're taught that that's a secret. But the secret is that we should teach it to everybody.
That's right. Yeah.
If you learn how to subdue your ego, there's nothing that we can't accomplish coming together, because ego destroys progress.
You're right.
So I think that if we can learn how to really give a genuine account of ourselves, our things that we do great and the things that we're not so good at, and really work tedious day in and day out, even if we just change one thing, we'll improve. And when we improve yourself, you improve the team automatically.
Check. Good point. Because I forget, man, I was watching this, and I don't watch it a lot lately, but The Breakfast Club, it had my childhood crush in there, Felicia Rashad, right?
Come on. She was everybody's childhood crush.
Right. But she said something so profound, man, and I don't know if it was a quote, if it was hers, but she said, in order to be great, you got to make other people greater.
Man.
And I was like, man, that's a bar, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, wow, that sat with me for like at least 3 weeks now, you know what I'm saying? And so, how can, because our culture is so divided, so divisive, because you have the church, you have Masons, you got the Moors, you got the Catholic Church, you have the civic clubs, you got this, you got that, man. How can we, with all this divisiveness, I forgot about politics, you got Republican, Democrat, you got independents, what's the glue to keep us all together? I know that's a deep question, you know what I mean? But I feel like you can answer that question. I want to ask you about that question, bro.
We already mentioned one thing, which is tolerance. Another thing I feel like could really cement the different ideologies, because that's what it is, different ideologies. People have different theories on how they want to do stuff. My thing is, give me a representative from every group.
Right, okay, check.
And then bring your plan to the table. Bring your plans to the table. If you don't have no plans, be quiet.
Check. Wow.
If you just here for confusion, be quiet. If you because some of y'all got a lot to say, but you're really not saying nothing.
Say nothing at all. You're right.
You know what I mean?
You're right.
And I'm just saying that because there's people out there that really making real plans for progress. If you're not that person, know how to be a follower.
Check. You're right. You're right. You know, I had this good friend of mine. His name is Demetrius Walker. Man, he owns Meek Vegan Pizza. If you ain't gonna, you gotta go check it out, man. Okay. He said something that it made sense, because it's like everybody from Garvey, he got deported. Then you had the Philip Randolphs. You had King, Malcolm, Fred Hampton, Medgar Evers. These people that were assassinated, right? Because they were the front runners. But what happens when Malcolm teaches a Chancellor or a Robin the same thing he know? You know what I'm saying? So when you take him out next one, now you got 1,000 other Malcolms. You know what I'm saying? And he said, now information shouldn't be so. He didn't call it gatekeeping, but kind of like not just for one man. That makes sense, or one woman or whatnot. I think we do it that way. I think a lot of this assassination stuff was, we hadn't had one in a while. Well, no, I can't. I'm gonna take that back. Because they killed Nipsey.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? They killed Dr. Sabi.
Yep.
Who else they killed, man? Of course, what happened to Pac. You know what I mean? So we got these people, but it's like, I don't know, man. It's almost like it's a fear mongering.
Well, I say this: we have to be mindful that, regardless of how saved we want to be, regardless of how Americanized or Christianized we want to be, we in a war.
Check. And
when you at war, you got to have strategy.
That's right. Good point.
And part of that strategy is the unknown. And I say this because most of those guys who you named that was taken away from us, that we are missing right now, they got so comfortable, they felt like it couldn't happen to them.
Check.
One thing, if you study war, when you find out who the general is,
take out the general.
You take off the head, the body gonna fall. So the years and years that they took away from us of progress that we could have had by killing the head of movements before anybody was taught. And us as men, we got the answer to that. The answer is really in raising the next generation through mentorship.
Check. That's right.
And I say it like this: men tour and ship. Man, that's man and woman. Tour, we going somewhere. And the ship is the way we travel.
To get there. Wow.
So when you think about it like that, we all need mentorship.
You're right.
Even as adults.
Right.
We need mentorship.
You're right.
They tell us we're supposed to have education. Education stops at 12th grade, or you get a PhD or whatever. Cool. If you get a PhD at 26, or you're not going to learn nothing new the rest of your life.
Right.
When you get to the highest peak, you're supposed to start back over from the bottom and come on back through again.
That's right. Yep,
and when you get to the top again, start back over from the bottom and come on back up again.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of us, we get up to the top and then we want to point the finger at those people who not up there. When you're supposed to be going back down, bringing more people up with you.
Come with me, straight up. That's right.
And it's the difference between from whence come you, and from whence you come. It sounds the same.
He's saying something, y'all. Those who know. You know what I mean?
It sounds the same,
right?
But if you have a
ear
to hear,
yes, sir,
you know the difference.
Yeah.
And if you don't, it's just words going in one ear and out the other.
You're right. You're right. You know, we said it. When we say this off camera, and I'll say that I'm saying this, but we talked about the education system and how it's in disarray right now, right?
Yes, sir.
And I've spoke about this, you know, other podcasts. Like, you know, to me, now is a perfect time to siphon our kids out of this system and build our the curriculum should already be here. We shouldn't be reactive to what's going on. We should have been proactive. And that's my first point. But to teach our kids now, say, oh, they're going to take our history out the history books and this now. Okay, let them. This day is. You know what I'm saying? This their curriculum. So
exactly.
why not come with our own stuff? You know what I'm saying? I've seen churches around here that have classrooms not being utilized. There's a school right here on Dolly Wright in West Montgomery that used to teach 3-year-olds to read.
Wow.
Closed down. He's trying to sell the property. And don't get me wrong, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you want to say, I get it. But why not keep that thing here and then we can siphon kids out and put them in? Because now they're going to give a $10,000 a year stipend.
Right.
A stipend.
That's crazy.
These kids got to go somewhere. All you got to do is open up and boom. Now we can start teaching our own kids. Well, you know what I'm saying?
Well, you know, when they shut down education, they open up prison institutions.
Check.
So people that's uneducated, easily controlled.
Yep, that's right.
So we have to reinstill the importance of education into the babies. Some of the, I hate to say this, but some of the people that's in the community, they're so indoctrinated. I
was gonna say conditioned. That's a better word.
They're indoctrinated with destruction.
Check.
You understand? And most of them are leading people. So we have to be proactive in re-indoctrinating the youth as young as we can get them to understand the value of building, productive, and preservation.
Wow, that's powerful, man. That's powerful. You know, this conversation can go on by 3 hours, man. But I try to keep them at 30 minutes because of people's attention span. But I want to continue, but the only way I continue is you promise to come back, bro.
Of course,
you know what I'm saying?
Come back.
Because I feel like these conversations got to be had because right now, you know, as much as I filter out my social media, I'm still getting BS, like, you know, seeing people fighting or seeing, you know, men and women battling about who's going to provide and we can't go 50-50 or all this little, you know, toxic energy. But so to me, by us talking is us infusing our love into to dispel this whole toxic this culture. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
You know what I mean? So how can people find you if they want to, you know, get behind you as far as, like, you know, follow the movement, what you're doing, all that kind of stuff like that?
I'm on all social medias under Mentoring Mighty Minds. That's the nonprofit me and my fraternity brother started. We do a lot of work in Spring, HISD, and in the community we doing violence prevention and literacy work.
Gotcha.
So you can catch me in any neighborhood.
He ain't lying.
If you call or you send a post or a comment or something, and you need something going on in your community, give us a call. If I don't have nobody in your community, we'll make somebody. We'll bring somebody to your community that we can start training and get them up to speed with what we got going on, or we can come ourselves and try to handle the issue if it's something that's a pressing matter.
Gotcha.
Sure.
I also want to give a shout out to one of your compadres. It's not can it be a
comrades?
I can say a comrade, but it's a woman.
Oh, which one?
Aisha, man.
Oh, man.
Man, that's sister now, man. Yeah. She
bless her soul, man. She do more than most men.
Yeah, she do.
I ain't gonna lie, man. She's a soldier. And she carries herself gracefully.
She does.
But she's dangerous.
Yeah, I know it. I already know it, man.
Keep your eye on her, man.
Yeah.
And I mean that in the best way possible. You know what I mean? She's a weapon. And I feel like she's doing a lot of great work out there, man.
She do, man. Yeah, she really do. I don't think she get enough flowers, man. So that's me giving you a shout out. I'm watching. I see what you got going on, man. Matter of fact, man, she actually, I went through her healing process with the
water.
Yeah, Mama Watson, man. So, yeah, man, I mean, not that I wouldn't believe in the beginning, But after that process, man, and just being in that element and letting the sister do her work, man, it was profound. You know what I'm saying?
For sure, man. You know, and a lot of our people, we got gifts, and some of the gifts we tap into at a certain age or a certain situation causes us to tap into it. And what I think is that people are coming of age and tapping into these gifts, and we got to be able to have the space to utilize them in a safe space, and without causing fear amongst our people.
Check. And you know, I gotta say this, man, because it's like it's you hit on something about fear, and to me, if someone would see what Sister Aisha is doing, or have done, or even seeing about the about the Orishas, or you know what I'm saying, that was our culture before Christianity. You know what I'm saying, and so they're fearing us, using fear to keep us from who we are. You know what I'm saying, but at the end of the day, it's like, what's gonna happen is gonna happen. They can't stop it. They've been trying with the jabs, all that kind of stuff, man. You know what I mean? And so to try to change our DNA, anyway.
Man, that's a long story in itself, man.
It is, and I think we're gonna come back and talk about that next time, about the whole divide of religion and all that kind of stuff like that, man.
3-4 parts on that one.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, but anybody want to give a shout out to before we get up out of here?
Man, I just want to shout out to, of course, my organization, Mentoring Mighty Minds. I want to give a shout out to Recover. Recover is a new coalition of groups that we put together to try to do some work in the city. There's a lot of great men in that group. I want to shout out to the Peace Pop-Ups, the brothers out there doing the violence prevention work. It's been beautiful to watch the development of brothers come from diverse backgrounds and be able to be positive, productive people to create change, man. Gotcha. So I just want to shout out to all the brothers that's out there putting in work, and I want to remind you guys to don't forget yourself. Make sure your self-care is a part of your agenda. Make sure self-care is a part of your daily, if not daily, weekly routine, because if you don't take care of yourself, then who's going to do the work when you're not here? That's true. So wow. Get your health together, man. I'm telling y'all that because I had to do the same thing.
Check. That's a good way to kind of to end it, man. But I agree, man, because the health is our wealth, man. We don't take care of ourselves. It's going to be, you know what? Somebody said something. You can have all the thoughts in the world, all the money in the world, man, but as soon as your health stops, that's your number one part. Everything else don't even matter. You know what I mean? Can't do nothing. You know what I mean? Focus on that. You know. So, but hey, y'all make sure to go to my website. I have a donation button on there, man. If you support what I'm doing, leave the donation. I appreciate you. I'm slinging T-shirts. You know what I'm saying? Politically Street. Go by, get a T-shirt. Support what I got going on. PoliticalStreet.com. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Politically Street. Oh, and YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm going to keep putting this content out here and spotlight people like Brother Chancellor out here doing amazing work. You know, so hey, I'm out here in these streets too, man. So till next time, y'all. Peace.
Appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate you, man.
Definitely want to give a shout out to Politically Street, man. That's one of the coldest names you can have. Because we out here in these streets, but these politics is trickling down, so it's all intertwined, man. So we got to figure out how to work it the way we work. So shout out to Politically Street.